Today's March the 1st, and it's my day. It's St. David's Day. And that's how I was named. Now, the name David was chosen for me. And that's what I'm known as. Except it's not quite true. My official name, if you like, the name on my birth certificate is Ian David Taylor. And certainly when I was younger, there was absolutely no issue in terms of making official statements or documents or airline tickets or anything in the name of David Taylor. And yet over time, that has changed. I logged onto my bank this morning, it said, "Good morning, Ian." And I don't relate to that at all. I remember I was going through immigration in Texas, and as I was going through, the passport control, the immigration guy, as I was leaving the immigration station, said something like, "Have a good day, Ian," and I didn't respond at all. And he was quizzical as to why I hadn't responded to my name being called, because I'm not known as Ian. I went to a bank recently with Eden because he had just turned 11 and he wanted to open a bank account. And I went along because I had to be a parent and I had to do the part of the ID thing to help him open the account. And the person running the interview, the session said, he came out and said, "Could I speak to Ian Taylor, please?" And I said, "Well, I think that's me, but I'm known as David." He said, "But your name's Ian." I said, "I'm known as David." He said, "Oh, well, it's down as Ian here." I said, "Well, that might be true, but I'm known as David." And so we had this little bit of back and forth, and he was a bit quizzical. And then we sat down, and I had to show him my passport. And he said, so your legal name is Ian?" I said, "Well, no, it's not. My legal name's also David because my name is Ian David Taylor." And it was clearly quite important to him that he was able to call me Ian. And I just don't relate to it. It's quite important to me that I'm known as David. So I'm known as David, and I'm going to claim today as my day, which is St. David's Day, and that's what I'm named after. But why is it so important? Why does it trigger me? I mean, it's not like a horrendous trigger, but it does trigger me that there's this view in the world that you must be known by your first name, that I can't choose to be known by my second name. And it's about convention. On the one hand, it's about convention and societal norms, and partly those norms have been enforced on us by terrorists. You know, the terrorists have won in my case because I'm not allowed to have an airline ticket in the name of David. I have no idea why. I have no idea why my first name is any more or any less legal than my second name. But because of airport security, because of identification security, I have to be known as Ian rather than David. So on the one hand, I feel that, you know, there's a conformity, there's an imposition by other people's behavior on me. But it's also a more personal thing, and I think this is true for everyone, that we are given labels. Now, some of those labels we adopt willfully. So we do adopt our names as labels, and we adopt those, and they become part of our identity. So my identity is as David, not as an Ian. And there are other labels that are given to us that we don't necessarily want to adopt. So, you know, I talked earlier this week about when I was younger, I was kind of given this enforced identity of Chinky, of, you know, Bruce Lee and Kung Fu and all these stupid names that kids give each other. And that was enforced from outside. And there are other labels we're given. I remember there was a lady who had cancer, and she talked about when she went to a hospital that she suddenly became a whole bunch of labels about, you know, carcinoma and stage 4 and this and that and incurable. And, you know, we make a choice. Do we accept these labels or do we choose our own identity? And I think that's at the core of what I'm trying to say here is our identity is incredibly important. How we choose to define ourselves impacts how we show up every day. And if we let those external labels leak in to identity, that we absorb them either consciously or unconsciously, then we're giving away who we are. That's what's really important. So today I choose to be David because that's my name and today is St. David's Day. Thank you for watching.